Let's turn to Diane Swonk now. And Diane, I should mention to our viewers as well, not just what the fallout might be, as you've warned, from these continued strikes to the U.S. economy, but we also could now be facing the biggest healthcare strike we've seen, authorized against Kaiser Permanente out on the West Coast.
We are seeing a lot of strikes right now, and it really is. We already were at the highest level of strikes in the August employment data that we'd seen since 2003. We could easily go back to 1998 very quickly in the month of September and October. The real effects of these strikes really don't start to really bite in the employment data until we get into October. The survey week is the second week of October. The people that are paid this week will show up on payroll, so that's very important. What we did see, though, was already some idled plants, 3,000 workers, an increase of 3,000 people on unemployment insurance claims due to an idled production plant in the auto sector, and that will show up as a manufacturing loss in the September data. But what's important is how quickly these tend to snowball. Once you shut down a full assembly plant, you start to affect suppliers very rapidly. The people who are furloughed and not on strike in the suppliers are eligible for unemployment insurance, but they will be counted as unemployed workers, where strikers, when they walk out of a plant, are not counted as unemployed.
And this will become extremely important when we're trying to suss out the direction of the economy. One moment, I want to bring everybody some news. For China right now is about to become the world's biggest exporter of cars globally. 3 years ago, they weren't even in the top 15. And only because of Trump's tariffs on Chinese-made batteries and that kind of thing, they haven't made inroads into the U.S. yet. But they're probably going to, whether in partnership with Toyota, with BYD, or one of the others. They're already top-selling cars in Sweden and so forth. This is we've been talking to you about the impact of the strikes on the economy. How about the impact from the UAW and even Tesla being back-footed if all of a sudden the consumer can buy a $40,000 Chinese-made EV? And that's going to dramatically transform the fortunes of the auto industry in this country as we know it.
Well, we've seen this before. We've seen it with the Japanese producers in the 1980s, which I'm really familiar with.
Right.
And we've also seen those producers also move to the United States, which is really striking. I think what's important to see is what we've seen in terms of response to all the trade wars that we've had and the tensions that we've had with China. We have seen a major reallocation of supply chains around the world, and Mexico's been the largest winners, largely because of the USMCA. Now, that's really important to understand because that means a lot of production is shifting not only by other producers around the world and U.S. producers into Mexico as well, but also Chinese producers are shifting around the world to deal with some of the issues and the tensions within trade.
Sure.
And I think that's important to understand because we're going to see that be a big. Mexico is now our largest trading partner ahead of Canada in China in 2023. That's a new move for Mexico, and it's in a direct response to what were initially the tariffs on China, which have been extended under two administrations.
Right.